And we're back.
We're
back in the studio. We're back on the podcast. We've been
a little MIA.
I guess.
Well, we haven't dropped a regular podcast episode. We're a week behind. Mm-hmm. We're a week behind because we're supposed to do it every 2 weeks, but we're a week behind right now.
So we didn't drop a new podcast. We had one recorded.
Yeah.
But it was a little dicey.
It was super dicey. Mm-hmm. So we had recorded this podcast episode that we were going to release. And then I was like, we should watch it together. Let's watch it together. And on this podcast episode, we ended up getting into a fight.
We had just a full-on argument, full-on fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just basically had a huge argument, huge fight, and just recorded it. So.
And it was not a good look for your girl.
I don't think it was a good look for either of us.
No, it really was not a good look for me.
But yeah, I think that you kind of figured a lot of things out watching it back. You figured out exactly how you fight.
Yeah.
And
I don't fight fair.
Yeah. And how hard it is to fight with you.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like in that episode, like, I don't call you names and stuff like that. I don't be like, you stupid ass,
No, you don't call me out of my name or anything like that.
No, I don't call you out of your name, but I am really good at taking your point, especially when you're trying to make it clear that you understand what I'm saying. And then I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And it was a little crazy because you're always like, I hate fighting with you. You're so difficult to fight with. Fighting with you is not like fighting with a normal person. And I'll just be like, is it not like, I always have something to say in response.
Well, you always have an argument against something that I say,
Yeah.
Whether you believe me or not, or whether you agree with me or not, you'll still make an argument for it.
Yeah. And, no, it's not funny. It's fucked up. And it was really sad to watch. With you. Yeah. It was really sad to watch because in my mind, I think that you were making good points. I think that I was making good points. Yeah. But listening back to how I was making them was so insensitive. And it wasn't cruel. It was just cold. Yeah. It was very cold.
Because I think in general, you just have a stream of consciousness going and you're able to kind of, which can be a skill as well, is you can filter, or you literally have a stream going from your mind to your mouth, and you can just kind of keep that stream going, which makes you a really great speaker. You're great at having conversation, but there's no filter there. It's just a stream. So you're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind, no matter what it is, it's coming out, Mm-hmm. And so that can be hard to argue with.
Yeah, and I remember watching it, and you would make a point, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I would say, I hear you, but
I hear you, but
and then you'd be like, but I'm trying. For the first time ever, I watched something that happens inside from the outside, and it was super illuminating, and I was honestly so embarrassed.
It's really interesting because
it was so embarrassing.
It was almost. Looking back at it, it was almost like an experience.
Yeah.
Or experiment.
Yeah.
Because we legitimately had a fight.
It was not good.
And
I was saying some mean stuff.
You were, but I mean, it's like, it's really interesting when you think about it because we filmed us fighting.
Yeah.
And we can literally look back and see like what I said, see what you said. And we can see exactly how we fight.
Yeah.
And I think that was really interesting. Obviously, like, I want to stop saying like, obviously.
Your mic just did the twisty thing. Oh. You just have to turn it around.
This is good.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I don't feel good when we're fighting, and I don't feel good in a fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I typically feel pretty good after a fight because we're usually really great at getting through it and communicating through it. And I think it's a really important part of our relationship.
Yeah.
But it's just really interesting that we have footage of a fight of
it
ours.
It was the worst. We are not releasing it, y'all.
No.
Y'all got to get to know us first before we really release something like that.
Yeah, and we were thinking about it, and
it just wasn't a good look. It's too early to release.
This could be juicy, but it's a little too juicy.
No, for me, it wasn't even about really the juice. It was just like, it was just, do I really want to put this out? Mm-hmm. And then watching it back, I was saying some things that just were not nice and very insensitive. And me and Grant go back and forth about the idea of getting married, because I have a very different perspective of getting engaged and getting married and all these other things. And I think I look at it from a very rigid
perspective.
From a very rigid perspective. And there's no flexibility, within rigidity of the perspective that I have on marriage. And so watching you talk about it, how you talk about it, and watching me talk about it like it means nothing to me was very eye-opening and really sad.
It's funny because I think there are certain things that I'm flexible on.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that you're flexible on. Like, you're flexible in the way of you never really have a set time schedule for things, and you're flexible in that. If we're going to do something, your timing is usually flexible, and you don't really get in your head about being late for things, or you don't really get in your head.
Depends on what it is.
It depends on what it is, but you don't really get in your head about switching up a already planned schedule.
Yeah.
And you're flexible in that way. And then I think I'm flexible emotionally and flexible in conversation or when we get argumentative.
Yeah.
Because but that's also has been kind of my role in the relationship, is being the patient, more understanding one. And that's kind of my strength, is I can understand where you're coming from, and I can agree when I am in the wrong, or I can agree when I feel like you're correct or you're right. I think it's hard. It's hard for you to agree with me sometimes, because I think that you have a lot of pride in everything you do and everything you say, and you want to stand on everything you do and everything you say, whether it's right or wrong.
I think that sometimes when I'm wrong, I'm honest about when I'm wrong. But when we're fighting and I bring up the issue or whatever it is, I am so convinced that I'm right that it becomes almost like a game. Yeah. I'm not going to lose.
Yeah.
And the saddest part, it makes me want to cry. I should have brought a paper towel.
It shouldn't be a game, because
I know
this relationship's not a game.
I know.
It's very serious.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, from the outside, I'm realizing how I actually fight. So it's not, I don't go into fights thinking, oh, this is a game and I'm going to make so many good points and I'm going to beat him and I'm going to show him that I'm the winner. It's not like that. But watching it back, I'm realizing I'm really just trying to win. It's not a conscious thought of me winning. I think it has a lot to do with like childhood, whatever. But when we're fighting and watching that fight that we had from the outside, I'm watching myself win. Not that I'm winning against you, but I'm watching myself try to win. And what I do is I think that this is very vulnerable, right? So I think that in a fight, watching it from this perspective, from the very first time, I think I just try to like tire you out. That's what it looked like to me.
That's like,
That's really objectively what it looked like to me.
It's like a lion that's hunting and is just like hunting the prey all day and is just waiting for them to tire out and have to go to the water hole.
Because I feel like at a certain point you understood what I was saying and I would not let it go.
That's such a good way to put it. No, that's such a good way to put it, because there are some times where we're arguing and I start to feel like I'm losing my mind or something, because I'm like, are we still on this? Because I've already agreed with you on this. I've already said you're right. I do this, and this is something I want to work on. And then we get right back into it, you know. And
that's exactly what happened.
It's kind of we're just doing the same thing over and over, going in circles. And by the end, I'm just tapped out, and I'm like, you know what? You win, I lose. I'll take the L. Because I can't keep going like that. I'm the complete opposite of you in that way, where you can keep going with that and you have the energy for that, and I lose energy
because you don't want to fight
very quickly.
You don't get.
I don't want to fight. It's not a game to me.
Yeah, it's not a game to you, and I think that I am definitely a hunter type personality. You know what I mean? I do archery. I love like beating people in games. I'm very competitive. So I think
I'm chilling picking berries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
No,
well,
I mean,
you're fine with that. You're like,
I mean,
you like a chill lifestyle.
I like chill. A chill life. Yeah. I mean, I'll hunt something. I'm
not saying that I'm alpha and you're beta. Yeah, I'm just saying that like I'm beta. Very much like a beta. I'm saying that I'm very much like a go get it.
We'll leave it to the commenters who's alpha and who's beta.
Yeah.
We'll leave it to y'all.
We already know what they're gonna say. She walks all over him. Go someplace where you're valued, king. Yeah. Oh my God, this is why black women date white men, because they can step all over them. You guys are killing me. God. Oh God, but honestly, we need y'all because y'all keep the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, keep it going. Don't stop. Keep the conversation going.
But ultimately, like watching that back, I was blown away because it's like fuck, like. I really want to cry because it's like I love this man so much, and this is what he's been talking about this whole time. He has stuck with me through this. That's how I fight. I've never seen myself fight from the outside. That was some valuable shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Was so
I'm almost
valuable.
Like thankful for it.
I'm thankful for it too.
I mean, obviously it wasn't a good situation, but I am thankful that we were filming that and we captured that so you can see. Because there's just a point in time when I'm arguing where I just turn off and it becomes about the argument and not the resolution. Well, I think too, we kind of had this conversation the other day too. In those moments, I think you're not really listening to me. You're just setting up the next response.
Yeah, 100%. I'll agree with that.
It seems like, because I know that face that you're talking about, where you're looking right through me. You're not really listening to me. You're just kind of gathering yourself and gathering your response to what I'm saying.
That is what I do.
You're not really taking in what I'm saying to you.
I think I'm taking it in to use it, to regurgitate information, exactly what you're saying. I take whatever it is. I compute, do all the calculations.
Well, you take
find a fault in it.
You'll take pieces.
And then address that.
Exactly.
And like, I don't know. It was really, really hard. And that's why I put on that poll on Instagram today. Do you fight fair? Yeah. And are your expectations of your partner fair? Because I realizing I don't fight fair.
Yeah.
And that like how blessed and lucky I am to have you, and just some of the things that I was talking about, like marrying you, and why I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it and saying it with so much conviction that I was disgusted by myself. I was so upset. And then we were watching it back together, and that was even worse because it was like us both watching this thing from the outside. And that made me feel like shit. That made me feel horrible. And I think that it was very illuminating, and it was definitely something that we needed, because ongoing now I know what you're talking about and I can address that. And it made me
a whole new perspective. You literally got my perspective of it. You saw it from the outside. Because
I already know that I'm not the easiest person to be with, and I already know I'm super intense. I'm also a lot of great things. Like I'm a good ass type.
You're great. Yeah, I mean, like, all those things help you in a lot of ways too. The fact that you're intense, or the fact that you are very like, strong-minded and outgoing, and you're lots of amazing things, and these things really help your life in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's just hard to argue with you, like it's hard to argue with you about anything, really.
I think I want to sit down one day and really think about where that comes from. I think it obviously comes from childhood issues and feeling like I was the only person that was there to defend myself in certain situations. And I don't even know, like, my parents are really smart.
Your parents are very smart and very opinionated.
Because I love my dad to death. Best dad ever. But he fights like that.
Yeah.
He might not fight like that now. I think he's grown a lot. But that's how he is on the attack. Constant. Until, and now it's insane thinking about it, because my dad has definitely grown a lot. Like, he's not that guy anymore. He's not that way anymore. But he used to be. And
I think
my mom used to call it like my mom used to call it the Jedi mind trick. I don't really know why. I don't watch Star Wars, but basically, like, it would you'd get into somebody's head and convince them that they were wrong.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, I realized, like, that is exactly what I'm doing to you. Probably not as intense.
Exactly. Yeah, because I think that you are similar to your dad, but you have a lot of good traits from him.
Yeah. You know, I'm both the best parts of him and like some of the,
and that type of stuff that if you apply that to a business mindset,
he's a killer.
Yeah, like that is very, very useful.
Yeah, he's
but
awesome.
In a relationship, you need to be a little bit more open there. It can't be so, you know.
I'm a good person, y'all. I do want to say that I'm a great person.
I swear, I promise, she's great. There's no gun to my head. We're great. Everything is all good.
Yeah, I'm a good person.
I'm here by choice.
Thank you. But when my feelings are hurt, or if I feel like I'm not being listened to, my defense mechanism is go for the kill. And it comes
up like that. Like
it
the
is
shield
quick.
Just goes like right up.
Yeah, my older brother, because I've always had, I don't think I have, well, not anger issues, but I think I'm quick to escalate when I feel attacked.
Yeah.
And my older brother would always say like, you're quick. You're the type to cut somebody and not even get blood on your shoes. Because I'm that fast, you know, and it's like, you know, like I'm in and out. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like a ninja.
Yeah.
Like Po from Kung Fu Panda.
Exactly.
But that was very illuminating for me because there's a lot of ways that I am working on not being anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have had the pathway to work on that. There's no way I would understand the roads, or I wouldn't have a roadmap of how to not be certain things if we didn't have that fight and that argument. And I don't think I'm like that in every fight. I think I'm like that in the really, really big ones.
What do you think you're going to do to be on that, to get on that road and figure out how to counteract that?
It really put in perspective how much when I get into that mode, it affects you. Because I never looked at it from that perspective before. Because I'm so scared of being hurt on my own that when I'm in that mode, all I think about is me. I don't think about how you're feeling or how to make you feel better or make you feel okay. I just think about doing those things for myself because it becomes like a self-preservation. Because growing up, I felt like, you know, being bullied by certain family members that I was the only one that was going to protect me. Nobody else is going to do it. It has to be me. And so I will drag that out until the end.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'm just going to listen a lot more. I'm going to have to walk away and take a breath, because even sometimes I'll be like, babe, I can't right now. I can't. And you immediately want to fix things. And my issue is you want to fix things, but I want to not talk about it, or I want to stonewall and lock you out.
Well, I also think that I'm the opposite of you, where I grew up not being shown confrontation. All the confrontation I feel in my family and around me was hidden. So I'm not the best at combating confrontation.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or when there is confrontation, I kind of pull back. So I think that I grew up with that, and you grew up with the complete opposite. So we do butt heads in that way.
Yeah.
And I think that the fact that I, you know, view confrontation the way I do, I think that affects our relationship in ways too. It affects, you know, I can be passive. I can not speak my mind at times. I cannot communicate well. And that's my downfall.
And I think also, to your point of not seeing confrontation, one of the things that we talked about in that episode, we'll call it the Forbidden Pod. We'll call it the Forbidden episode. One of the things we talked about in the Forbidden episode was me feeling like I'm always the bad guy in our relationship.
Yeah.
Because I do bring up the problems.
Yeah.
And so when you don't approach confrontation, it leaves one of us to have to do it. And I think that was also fueling like my rage.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say rage like I was blacked out and just going insane and knocking things over. I was angry though. Yeah. And I was hurt because it made me, you would say things like, I appreciate you for bringing up the issues. Thank you so much. And my response to that exact statement was, how can you appreciate me for something that you turn around and demonize me for? And that is what constantly was fueling me to keep going. And that creates
this cycle.
Yeah.
You know, that creates this cycle of, why do I always feel like I'm the bad guy, or I have to point out the issues in this relationship? And and that's where I fall short, is I don't have the same perspective as you in that way, where if there's something that I feel is going to be confrontational, I rather not deal with it, or I rather not like hit it head on.
Yeah. I think that also one of the things about this forbidden episode was watching just you trying, you being there, you being present, and you being like, okay, baby, I hear you, baby, okay. Because when I'm fighting, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that can like resonate with this type of thing. When I'm angry or fighting with my partner, there's something in me that just pushes the love way down.
Yeah.
It pushes the love way down. And not that it rises hatred, but it just, the love goes out the window, and it just becomes,
your mind is very like in the moment.
Yeah.
In those situations, it's hard for you to see outside.
And
of
I don't
that.
like when we're fighting. Sometimes I'm like, okay, baby. You know, I hear you, babe. I hear you. But for the most part, when we're fighting, I cannot call you babe and things like that. And I don't want to be that person, especially because we've been talking about getting married. And I keep asking you, who do you see yourself as a fiance? How do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? Like, I need to have that level of clarity. But watching that fight, I'm like, this is not who I want to be married to this man. This is not who I want to be engaged to Grant. This is not the person I want to bring into, if we do get engaged, you know, this is not the person I want to bring into the next step of our lives together.
Yeah.
So that was really illuminating for me.
And it's also, you know, to the point of you asking me, you know, who do you want to be as a husband? What do you want to do for me, or what do you want to be as my partner? And if we take that step, you know, that's something else that, and I think I said this point in the argument as well, is you ask me that question a lot.
Yeah.
And there are times where I don't give you the answer that you want, but there are times where I'm able to concisely tell you exactly what I want to do, exactly where I want to be. And I think deep down you already know exactly what I want to do for you. And you almost use that question to fuel your fear with marriage.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or you use it as like, because I understand that you want to know, you'd like to know where my head is.
I'm just scared of things switching up. Like, you know, we've talked about it. There's a lot of people that we know who, you know, have gotten married, or people that get married and their whole lives change, obviously, because I guess that's what happens. That makes sense. But my fear with getting married is that you'll put a ring on and everything, and then we'll have a ceremony, whatever, and then the whole thing will switch up, and then we'll lose out
our character.
I know, baby, but these are just my concerns, though.
I know, but I'm just combating your concerns, because I'm trying to show you and tell you that the facts of the matter are we have a relationship. The facts of the matter are we have a relationship that is constantly evolving, constantly feeling refreshed. We do these things that make it fun and make sure it doesn't get stale. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, we're creatives.
Yeah.
And we have a creative relationship. We have a fun relationship. We're always doing things together. We work together all the time. We keep things interesting. We're able to communicate when you feel a type of way, or if I feel a type of way, or if we feel like we're getting stagnant. We're able to communicate our way out of that every time.
Yeah.
Every time. So that's what I'm going based on.
I know.
That's why I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for these next steps, because our past has shown that we can get through anything and we can communicate through anything.
I think that it's very common, or maybe it's uncommon, but hopefully this reaches somebody out there that's afraid to like take that step because they don't want to be disappointed. But to what I'm saying about it switching up is we've been together for so long, and a lot of people are like, after 5 years or 6 years or however many years, you're not like going to marry this person. And I'm like, it takes longer than that for some people, and it took longer than that for us. I'm so happy that we've gone on the path that we've gone on. I love being a boyfriend and girlfriend. I just don't want us to get engaged and to not have that level of vibrancy or romance or spontaneity.
No, it's only gotten more and more in our relationship.
That's true. That's so true.
We've only been at an ups, like.
Yeah, I know. I think in my experience, from what I've seen, marriage is like a trap. Like you get somebody and then you grow with them or you don't. And then you say stuff like, hey, I would actually like you to modify this behavior, or I would like you to add this to our lifestyle regimen, whatever it is. And somebody will be like, well, I didn't have to be that before. What are you looking at, babe?
Looking at the things.
Oh. So I think that in my experience, when people get married, they switch up.
Yeah.
And I just don't want us to switch up. I love what we have going on. And I am nervous that something will happen. We'll get married and things will switch up. And there's a lot of people out there who feel like once you marry somebody, you cannot ask for new things. Fix your mic, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not.
But there are a lot of people out there like, well, I didn't have to do that to get you. Well, you never asked me for that before. Well, shit.
But I feel like these scenarios are also people who got married within the first 2 years of knowing each other as people.
Let's not generalize them. No.
I mean, well, I'm just saying that's what it seems like to me, because if you don't know somebody or know somebody's character by how long we've been dating,
yeah,
then, I don't know, because at this point it doesn't feel like that much of us rolling the it doesn't feel like we're rolling the dice at this point. We know each other very well. We've created a foundation of a partnership. Mm-hmm. We had before we even dated, we built a friendship for 2 years.
Yeah.
We have so much foundation there that this doesn't feel risky to me.
I guess I've never considered marriage to be anything other than risky.
Mm-hmm.
That's just never been a privilege, maybe, or it's never been on my radar. And also growing up, I was not the girl that was like, one day I'm going to get married to Prince Charming and he's going to be tall and handsome and we're going to have 1 million kids and live happily ever. I've never once imagined a happily ever after for myself.
Yeah.
That just wasn't on my radar because it just didn't compute. And from what I saw, it didn't exist, and it could be fabricated.
Yeah.
It can be fabricated because somebody can really think that they have a happy ever after. And then all of a sudden that shit is gone and now you're alone, and I am terrified of falling in love in a way where I become so vulnerable that I am putting myself in a position to allow somebody to make a fool of me.
I think you just need to kind of take all that focus and hone it into
what the reality of our situation
the reality of our relationship is. You keep like every time that we talk about this, you're constantly comparing it to something that's outside of us.
I know.
Or these people, or, what I was around, or, it didn't work for them, so it won't work for us, or these people this happened to them, this is their relationship. And you never actually compare it to our relationship or our past.
It's not that I don't think that we're capable of making it work. It's that I just don't want it to happen to us.
It's not going to. Like, what is showing that it's going to happen to us?
Don't laugh at me. I'm sad.
I know.
I get emotional. I just don't want it to happen to us. Mm-hmm. And I think that in my mind, I'm protecting our relationship in a way by staying in this boyfriend-girlfriend mode. Mm-hmm. Because like, you're going to get married, that's more pressure. It's more pressure. It's more financial pressure. It's more, even maybe societal or social pressure. And a part of me feels like
more what the pressure's coming from.
For me?
Yeah. It's
societal
like
pressure?
Societal, or just maybe not that, but just societal and memory based and trauma,
I guess I'm just scared in a way to hold us up to the perception or the concept of marriage and not be able to do my part. What if I'm not a good wife? I'm an awesome girlfriend. No, but I think about stuff like that.
I know, but I'm also not sitting here judging and critiquing how you judge and critique, and I'm not sitting here being like, how are you going to be as a wife? What are you going to do for me as a wife? What are you going to be as a wife? I'm not constantly pressuring you or asking you, so there's not really, I'm not putting any pressure on you.
I put pressure on myself.
I know you do, but just know that I believe you're going to be a great wife and you're going to be a great mom and you're going to be great at all these things because everything you do and everything you put your time and effort into ends up great. You typically going into things, you're in your head and you're scared, but in the end, everything works out. I think it really does.
Like, oh God, I should have got a paper towel. I did not think I was going to cry. Mm-hmm. This is why we're relatable.
Mm-hmm. We cry in our podcast.
I cry.
She cries in our podcast.
Get with it, Grant. Shed a damn tear. You got me out here hanging by myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me just. I think that, again, that was one of the things with that fight that we had. When you throw the cat hair, now I feel like it's crawling over me. That's why I keep scratching my nose. But you're throwing it this way and then it in my face. I'm pretty sure it's in my lashes, in my nose.
I don't see it. It's not in your lashes, no.
You can't see if it's in my nose.
I think it's on my eyelash, though.
My face gets so itchy whenever she's around.
Yeah.
I mean, I love her. God, I love her. She's the best. But you throw her hair in the air and...
Sorry.
Anyway, I think that's another thing about that. See, right there, hair. I think that's another thing about our fight is watching it and watching the way that I was talking about things. I realized this is not how I feel deep down at all.
Yeah.
And why am I so scared to feel how I want to feel out loud?
Yeah.
And it was at that moment where it was like, it's all or I mean, it's always been all or nothing with us. Yeah. But it was really at that moment where I was like, girl, you got to get it together. This is all or nothing. This is the person that you want to be with. Why are you so scared and putting up roadblocks that make the idea or concept of marriage an unenjoyable experience? And it's because I didn't ever picture those things for myself. And so I have to get into the mindset and the mode that I deserve to be married. And like most of all, that I deserve to be married to you.
Yeah. And
you're a good guy. You're the best. And I love you so much.
And I know that, marriage takes work and it takes a lot, but I don't want it to become a job. You know, I don't want us to view it as a job or view it as something that is just going to consume us or take all this time out of our, or, you know, like, I think that that's kind of how you're setting it up to be, or how you think it should be, is this thing that like takes all this work and takes all this time putting into.
I think it does take work and time.
It does take work and time, but it shouldn't completely consume us just because it's a word, marriage, you know? And obviously there's a lot that goes into it, and it's legally binding and everything, but I think that we're setting that up right now. We're setting up our marriage now, and it looks good to me because we have a great partnership, and that's the foundation of it.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of marriage, and that's the most important thing in marriage, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's taken us around 7 years to curate that, but we took our time and we built something amazing.
I feel good about the time it's taken us to get to a place where we're like
time. I think it's a good amount of time, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't jump the gun on anything. We didn't fall into anything too soon.
And you know me, like in and out. Mm-hmm. And I don't, exactly. I never feel disgusting around you, and I'm allowed to like be weird and be a person that uses the bathroom.
About each other now. Yeah. Like, we know enough about each other to like appreciate one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so many people out there who have women and they constantly want them to be a perfect. Mm-hmm. I think there are a lot of people out there who are in a relationship with a woman and expect her to be on her P's and Q's all the time.
I think it goes both ways. Like they just want their partner to be this perfect thing.
Definitely both ways.
It goes both ways. Yeah.
I'm just speaking as a woman.
Yeah.
Knowing that what we have is a very unique situation. Yeah. Because some of the stuff I be doing.
Because I know I know.
I'm weird.
I mean, I guess I don't personally know guys like this, but I've seen, guys who don't fart in front of their girls.
That's
and stuff
crazy.
Like that.
I cannot imagine.
Bro, let that rip, my guy.
Let it rip, my guy.
Yeah. And girl, let that rip, girl. Come on, why not?
It's not Grant's fetish. He's just super accepting.
No, but it's like
he said, "Come on,
like,
why
if
not?"
you're gonna be with this person forever, like, do you expect them to just never fart or never like burp horrible. Or never do anything? Like, that's insane.
There are people I was talking to this one girl a while ago, and she said that she was really, really drunk, and so she was throwing up, and her boyfriend just left her by herself. Like, they lived together, and he wouldn't even come in there and hold her hair because he was so disgusted by the fact that she was throwing up. I get it. Like, some people get queasy and they're like, I can't, you know, but it's like, it was more of a, that's
get
disgusting.
Her a ginger ale or something.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
it was more
something.
of a response to her vomiting that he thought was disgusting, and he couldn't be around it, not because it physically made him sick. Yeah, like I can't. Oh my God, how what is it?
Like womanly?
How unwomanlike? How?
Yeah, something like that.
What's the phrase?
Ladylike?
How unladylike? Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
yeah.
You can tell that ladylike is
you're not a lady. You're
in
throwing up like a slut. Yeah, but
like,
that's weird. It's weird to put that on your partner.
Yeah, and I just one of the I always say one of the things I love, but I love our relationship, and watching that episode back really made me realize how often do I make you feel like I really, really want to be here.
Yeah,
I think I make you feel that way a lot, but when we're fighting, I don't think I make you feel that way.
Yeah, you make me feel like that 90% of the time. And then the 10% that we do fight and get in these arguments, you know, it's very hard to argue with you. Obviously, you know that. But also within this fight, typically by the end, we're both on the same page.
That's true.
And we both understand where one another are coming from. You know, so we work it out. We're great at working it out. And it usually makes us stronger in the end.
I want to focus more on meeting you where you're at. That's one of the things that I learned.
Okay.
I want to focus more on meeting you where you're at so that I can understand your needs and move accordingly.
Yeah.
Because I think oftentimes, not all the time, but I think that there are times where I'm like, I don't have time to address that. I don't have time to address that need, or we have to do this. Like, let's just get over it. I just need to make more time to be present with you in your moments, which I think I do. But now I have this entirely new level of consciousness about it, where I want to, like when we went out last night, you know, that a part of that was like, I want to go out with this guy. I love this guy. Let's go. I feel great. Love this guy. I feel great about our relationship. Like, let's go out. Last night was so fun. Go out with your girl.
Yeah, go out. Keep her in the loop.
Keep her in the loop.
Number 3, though, you got to go out.
Go out with her. Some people say it's a bad thing these days, but it's a good thing to go out and connect together.
Keep her in the loop merch coming soon.
Yeah. So
might have to.
One of the things, I keep saying one of the things. That's like my like. That's my version of like. Take a shot every time I say one of the things.
Yeah,
these people
take a shot
drunk
every
out
time I say like. Yeah,
they be real fucked up.
I know. Oh, fuck. I'm getting better at it though. I'm getting better. I'm very conscious about when I say like.
I have to be conscious of one of the things. That's my version of
That's
like.
That's funny. Yeah,
but
you do say that a lot.
I say it all the time. It's my filler word. I forgot what I was even going to say because I started saying one of the things.
We were talking about going out. Keep her in the loop. Going out with your girl.
Oh, yeah. Grant and I, if y'all saw us out in these streets, you would have no idea how long we were dating.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
You would have no clue. We are so in love.
There was a person that actually came up to us last night. Remember that?
Yeah.
And she just came up and just started kind of saying how, you know, amazing you looked and was very nice to me. Yeah, she was definitely hitting on you, but she like asked if we were a couple, and she was like, wow, you guys are a beautiful couple, all that. And she asked, how long have you been together? And I said 7 years, and it like blew her mind.
She lost it.
She literally like did one of those things. She's like, what?
She was
like
screaming out loud.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then had to do a lap real quick. Came right back. To do a lap. And we were literally talking about that maybe moments before that of how we were just interested when people see us out, because we're very like touchy-feely.
We are in our own bubble.
In our own world. We're kissing, we're making out and stuff, just having a good time. I love physical touch.
He showed us.
So I love touching her, grabbing her. Every time we go to a restaurant, I never sit across from her. I always sit next to her. It's awkward though, because it can get awkward. And if we're at one of those small little two tops, I'll squeeze in next to her and we'll just like share this half of the table. But I just like sitting next to you. I don't want to sit across from you. It just does not feel right. It doesn't feel right. How am I supposed to touch you if you're so far away, or put my arm around you, or put my arm on your leg? It just doesn't make sense to me. But
we'll go to a restaurant. I'll be like, sit over there. He'll be like, no.
Yeah. If we ever start a restaurant, I'm going to have two tops, but it's just going to be a booth, and there's not going to be another chair on the side. It's literally just going to be a longer booth, and there's not going to be chairs. There won't be a chair on the opposite end.
That sounds like you. Yeah. Or we make we have a chef's table, kind of like what they have in Best Friend. Mm-hmm. And it's just, cool. It's like more like little exclusive.
Oh yeah, the chef's table is fire.
Yeah. But Grant's a really great chef, which is why he brought up the restaurant thing. So one of these days, that'd be so crazy.
That'd be great. Yeah,
that'd be so cool. I would love to do that with you.
I would love that too.
That sounds like fun.
But yeah, I mean, but we were talking. That's true. But we were talking about in that moment we were talking about just wondering how long.
Kitty.
Do we think that?
You think that's picking up?
That's fine. How long do we think people think we've been together, looking at us and what we're doing out, and how we're very, touchy-feely, and we're kind of all over each other.
It's sick, y'all.
It's
sick.
It is interesting to think what people think and how long we've been together. Do they think we're in like a honeymoon phase or...
Absolutely, because when we were out last night, we were faded.
Oh yeah, when we get faded too.
Yeah,
when we're out in public, we get real touchy.
We literally will sit there and like put our foreheads to each other's foreheads, like this, and we'll be like, "I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you. You're great. You know, you look so hot. You look sexy. You know what I mean?" So another reason why you should be going on dates so that you can hype each other up and feel sexy, but before she came up, I had noticed, I said, ain't no black people in here. Mm-hmm. And then she walked in. Yeah. And I said, there you go. There goes one right there. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. And so she walked over later. And she asked me.
Started talking with us.
She said something. She said, your whole thing, you're just. Mm-hmm. That's the second time I got hit on last night by a woman, which I love. Yeah. That's a nice compliment to get like respectfully hit on by a woman. Okay. Yeah. Is that weird?
I don't think it's weird.
I don't know, whatever. No. But no. And so she said, you're gorgeous. Wow. I love your vibe. Like this whole thing is great. Are you single? I said, no, we're together. Mm-hmm. Oh, how long y'all been together? 7 years. Oh. Yeah, I know. And then he said, I was saying something. She said, when you gonna lock, y'all married, y'all engaged? When you gonna lock that down? When you gonna lock that down? And Grant said, soon. We'll see y'all. And then she said, are you into it? Because I'm into it. It was so cute. Oh my God. It was so cute. Because I am. It was so cute. That was sweet. I thought that was sweet. Mm-hmm. You didn't think that was sweet?
Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What?
I just thought it was a good story. And you're like,
no, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, okay, yeah, I thought it was sweet.
No, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. Oh my God, Kitty.
Kitty.
Yeah, we had a great night last night.
Come on, Mama.
But yeah, I think that we just have to continue to be aware of, things that we need to work on personally. And I think that you seeing that fight definitely gave you some new perspective,
Yeah.
And I think we both are going to continue to gain perspective in that way, because at the end of the day, we want this to work and we want to put our best foot forward.
It made me love you more and want to love you even harder than I already do.
I think it helped you appreciate me more too.
Yeah. Okay, Kitty, go. I definitely think that I do appreciate you, but it took my appreciation
to another level. Yeah.
It took it to another level.
Yeah.
And
I think you saw how I am in those moments, in those tough moments, and you appreciate the way that I went about it.
Yeah. I think that I have a very aggressive mentality, but like a warrior mentality when we're fighting. But I would say you more have like a general mentality. Like as a general, you know, like you're very calm.
You got to keep the troops together.
Keep the troops together. You're calm. You're level-headed. You're thinking about all of the different perspectives. You're looking at the chessboard, you know, where I'm just like, there's a person in front of me and I need to stab him.
I want to get in there, sir.
I want to get in there,
Let me in there, sir. Yeah.
So do you feel like I love you?
Yeah, baby. I know you love me. I've always known that.
Really?
I know you love me. I know you want this, and you know that I want this. So we just have to continue to take care of it and make sure that we're on the same page and moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to do.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, I love you and you're the best, and I couldn't ask for anybody else to be hanging out forever with.
Yeah. Couldn't ask for a better partner. So there it is, guys. This was a much better episode than the one forbidden we recorded before. The forbidden episode that maybe we might, you know.
Once y'all get to know us, we might actually.
We might drop it. Yeah, why not?
But that's not happening anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Yeah. We don't want that to reflect on us right now. So
yeah. But I think everybody has their hang-ups in a relationship, and mine is whether or not I fight fair. And like I said, I don't disrespect you. I don't call you out of your name. But do I make getting to a resolution harder? Yes. Absolutely. And is that something that I'm now present or now I am? Is that something that I'm now aware of? Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way I was never aware of it before.
Okay.
And it's made me more aware in life in general. It's really opened me up. I feel more relaxed.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. You want to keep hanging out forever?
Let's do it.
Okay. I love you.
All right. I love you, baby.
All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Hanging Out Forever. We're on the primary streaming platforms, but as always, we recommend that you watch this on YouTube so that you can catch some of the nuances in our facial expressions.
You can see the kitty.
You can see the cat.
When she has her cameo moments. Yeah.
You can see me cry like that.
You can watch her cry. Yeah.
Do you get off on that, Grant?
No, but
you made a weird face.
No.
You made a weird face that you can only be able to see.
Watching people cry, make sure you're watching the video version. Yeah.
He made a weird face you're only be able to see if you watch this.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
I love you.
I love you.
Okay.
There it is.
There it is.
Peace.